What's going on? Thanks for joining me. New week, new track. Let's see what I can do. So the last three songs that I did, I'm not going to do those keys. I did a B minor, G minor, and a D sharp minor. So I have a random number generator here. And then what I'll do is I will generate a number, and then that will pick the key for me. But it will be minor. I will say that. So let's see what we have here. All right, here we go. So let's see. I picked the number 3. Hold on. All right, one more time. Hold on.
11.
Okay, 11. So that would be a G minor. I already did that one. So let's try another one.
5.
5. That'd be a C sharp minor. And that's what we're doing. So let's hop in. And let's select all these. And then we will do a C sharp minor. Okay. So we have that. And then what I'll do is how I do all my songs. I'll bring this over. This is Splice. I use all my vocals from Splice. But what I'm going to do here is change this key so I can go sharp keys here. So C sharp minor. And then let's go through these and see if there's anything that sticks out here.
Baby, when the morning comes, I've got waiting for the right time. Just to tell the truth, this is what it feels like. When you think it of me, when you think it of, this is what it feels.
Clip my angel wings, I told.
This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
So that one's popping up quite a bit.
If you've been searching for baby in the morning. 'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage. I'm not.
So we got something like that. Demons. Maybe we'll try that one. How about that? We'll try the 148 BPM, but I probably won't do it that fast. Let's get that. And we'll go ahead and slide this in right here. All right, so we're not going to do 148. I don't normally write at 148, but we'll figure something out here. So it's at 148 Complex Pro. Maybe I'll do 125. I'll bump it up a little bit, and then what I'll do is I'll just duplicate that. Loop this section right here, and then I'll go ahead and start with my chords. So C sharp minor, we'll do a basic triad, and I think it'll be simple for right now, and then I'll add on to it. All right, 1 second here. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I had some settings wrong. All right, so we got, we'll do something like this.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. 'Cause I
We'll do.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me.
Maybe we'll go down.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does any
We'll go down to a G maybe. Let's try these triads real quick, and then just see if it hits. Give me some bass notes in there.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how?
I don't really like that. Let's see what we got
'Cause
here.
I got demons in my brain, they're
Well, I guess that would help if I put it on the right notes.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain?
All right, so we'll go ahead and use that for now. It's simple, but in the next portion, what do I want to do here?
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage and let go.
So I can do.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage and let go of these chains. Get out of the dark side.
All right, so something real simple like that. We'll just start with that, and then we'll maybe try something different later on. But let's go ahead and do. Let's add some voices to this. We'll take the detune out so it's not too detuned. See what that gives us. Because I always start with a saw and then go from there. Because depends on how I want my chords. Maybe I want them a little more powerful. But then if I don't, I can usually add a sine wave into this one. So let's see what it sounds like.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody
Put a
know
filter
how
on.
to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage and let go of these chains. Get out of the dark side.
All right, so I like those, and then we'll go ahead and build on these. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll do a sine wave on this one, and then we'll put this filter on oscillator B.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage and let go of these chains. Get out of the dark side.
All right, so kind of what I wanted there, but we'll work on that. All right, now we'll go. Let's do loop this, and then we'll go ahead and start with a generic beat. We'll go. Let's see, what kind of kicks do I have? What am I feeling here? We'll do something like this. See what this sounds like. It's out of the way. And then let's do a simple 4 on the floor. Can't beat that. All right, let's turn these chords down just a little bit. I might do some filter automation, but we'll see.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage and let go
on the fine tune.
But this is all I know. 'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain?
All right. Just gives the chords just a little bit of like emotion feeling. All right, so the kick is the kick. I can saturate that. Let's see what we got. Maybe take it down a couple semitones. And put a limiter on, give it a little saturation. Gives it a little bit of grit. All right, so there's that. Real simple. Let's go to the snare. Let's get some snares in there. That's got a clap in it. Not sure I want that one. That's a good snare. I do have a 90s snare. Should I do a 90s snare in there? Let's see. It's in here somewhere. Try this. See what this sounds like. Unmute that. Kind of, well. I mean, I could layer it with a. Yeah, I'll leave it like it is, and we'll just we'll fiddle with that as we get to it. Duplicate that. Now we should have a decent 4 on the floor. Nothing too simple or nothing too crazy. Pretty simple.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this.
All right, so let's add a little bit of channel reverb to this, just so they're not so dry.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage, unlock all these chains. Get out of the dark, stop breathing again.
All right, so got that laid down. Let's do some hi-hats. I got my go-to 808 hi-hat, which I can do. Let's see. Let's go into here and then drag this in, and then I will shape this. Maybe I'll fade it in a little bit, give it instead of this where it's got the harsh attack at the beginning, fade it in just a little bit. More of a softer sound. Maybe something like that. Go ahead and into controls and then change the random pan to 20%. That way it kind of like bounces between the ears. And then I will do a simple 8th note, nothing crazy. Just a little pattern with a little bit of movement to it. Draw these in manually, the volume. And then I'll go ahead and duplicate this section. So now I should have something pretty simple.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage, unlock all these chains. Get out of the dark, stop breathing again.
All right, so that's something pretty simple. Nothing too crazy right now. So let's see, we got that. Do I want to add, let's see, do I want to add my percussions now? I can do that now. Go to my drum sounds. Let's see, do I do a rim shot? Do like a classic 808. Do one of these things. Kind of give it that little that little underneath. Let's see here, and we'll just do like a quick pattern. 'Cause I got Cause I got demons. All right, so we can do maybe a pattern like that, and then I'll do something like this in the second half of that. Cause I got demons in my brain. Cause I got demons in my brain. They drive me. All right, so we'll just duplicate that and see what kind of groove that gives us. Cause I got demons in my brain. They drive me insane. Does anybody know how to get? All right, so what I'll do here is I'm going to go to the bass line, and then we'll dial this bass in and see what we can do as far as a pattern goes. I can do a rolling bass, maybe do a rolling bass here. Where are we at? C. So I can dial this in real quick. Let me pull this over. Okay, pull that over, and then I will give it a few voices. I don't want too much on a bass, but I can let it roll there. But then I am going to pull down this envelope here, maybe something like this, put a sub on it, and then we'll drag this onto this cutoff, and then I could do a MG low 24, and then we'll dial this in as needed. So we'll go here, and then I'll just duplicate this just to kind of get the first part of it. Let me solo this. Hold on. Okay. Let's do effects. We'll put an equalizer on there, and then we'll give a little bit of gain, or widen this Q a little bit. That way it brings out these little mid harmonics. And then for the second oscillator, I'm going to do a saw wave with no voices. And then I'll kind of feed it in just a little bit, so you kind of get a little bit of the higher harmonics. And then also on this utility, on this channel, we're going to go ahead and put this bass mono at 135 hertz. And then that way it keeps the bass frequencies in mono, but the other frequencies can go wide and give it a little bit of stereo. All right, so we got that. And then we're going to go to these chords, and we're going to mirror these chords. So C, B, G, and then C, G, A. So C. Duplicate this. And then we'll have this. We'll put this down here. And then what were those notes? C, G, A. That was what it was. Okay. And then I'll just take this. And then kind of get this. And then I can also drop these notes, bring that up, drop that down, give a little bit of movement. I could also do some octave jumps. So maybe something like this. maybe something like this. Give it a little bit of interest and make it more interesting. All right, so let's listen to it. Let's kind of like get this going with the song so we can kind of hear what it sounds like.
'Cause I got demons in my brain.
Turn these vocals down.
Driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this
Turn these perks down.
Let go of these chains. Get out of the dark, stop breathing again.
Let's duplicate this, these bass line, and then we'll work on this. I need to get some more grit in there, but we'll work on that.
'Cause I got demons in my brain. They're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage and let go of these chains. Get out of the dark.
All right, we'll duplicate this perk, and then we'll go ahead and get my usual reverse cymbal that I use in every song. Here it is. We'll go ahead and put this down here, and then I'll kind of drag it in so it overlaps just a little bit. Change this to Complex Pro, because if not, it kind of has like this transient and it sounds weird. But we'll bring this down to usually 20, 22, negative 22. And then we'll put reverb right on the channel up to about 67% on the dry wet. And then we'll do about 4.5 seconds decay. And then what that gives me is, so it's like it's got a nice cool, it's a riser and it's a transition, but it's very subtle.
Get out of the dark, stop breathing again.
All right, so again, these things may change. I might change the kick, or I might change the snare, but for right now, we'll just leave it as is. I will throw a glue compressor on there on the bus, the drum bus, and let's kind of dial that in.
'Cause I got demons in my brain. They're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain?
All right, so these perks are still a little bit loud, but I'll work on those. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this snare and I'm going to saturate it just a little bit, and it kind of brings out a little bit of the punch. I mean, this snare is not too powerful. It's kind of weak, actually. You know what I might do? I'm going to go ahead and grab my other favorite, is the Lindrum snare, and maybe I'll layer these real quick. So we'll go ahead and take this Lindrum, my favorite snare, bring this up here. All right, so let's go and take the Lindrum snare, and we'll go ahead and bring this down a couple semitones. And then I'm going to take the EQ on here, and I'm going to just boost it just a little bit. So when you see this right there, I'm going to boost that just a little bit. Tighten up the Q, and then boost it just a little. All right, so now it sounds like, so now I'm going to go in, and it sounds like the Lindrum is hitting slightly out of time. All right, let's see what it sounds like in the context of the song.
'Cause I got demons in my brain. They're driving me insane.
So a little bit more punch.
Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain?
And then I can also do insert a return track. And I'll go up here. I'll grab a gate, put it on this return track, and then I'll do a gated reverb on here. And then what that does is it kind of gives you that classic 80s sound. Even though this track, most of the tracks that I make are, 80s inspired, but they're kind of modern at the same time. They're, it's not purely synthwave. But I do like to have some of the things give it that retro sound. So we'll go here. We'll take this gated reverb. We'll put that all the way up. And then we'll take the gate, put it after the reverb, put the reverb to 100% wet, about 6-7 seconds of decay. And then I'm going to side chain this gate to the snare channel, and then bring this floor all the way down, and I'm going to bring the threshold down, and then you'll see, or you'll hear. Actually, did I do that wrong? Yep, I did. Okay. I do that all the time. All right, here we go. Now we should be good. So you can kind of hear it kind of creeping in. Turn this. Duplicate that. All right, so now we should have like a little reverb decay, but it's real tight and it kind of shuts off before the next snare hits. So we'll leave it like that. So now in the context of the song, let's see what we got.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage and let go of these chains. Get out of the dark, stop breathing.
All right, so these chords, I definitely am going to mess around with this filter just a little bit. We'll do an envelope like this, so they kind of fade out. We'll put this on here. So it makes it sound more interesting. All right, so we got that. All right, so now I have basically the verse of the song kind of almost there, but let's see what we can do. These perks are a little, turn it down a little bit. I can make them super dry. See if that helps. I'm not sold on that kick. I'm kind of not feeling that kick, so we'll go ahead and do a couple things here first before we do anything else. So I got I have a trigger channel, so this is for my side chain, and then I'll drag this up, and it's just the pattern of the kick, and then I have it so I can do a side chain. So let's do side chain on this bass track. We'll do from the sidechain trigger. I like my attack pretty quick. And then we'll dial this in.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody...
So you'll hear it when I solo this. You can kind of hear it ducking just a little bit. I get extreme with it, but... And then we'll do the same thing on this chord track. We'll go ahead and side chain that to the trigger, give it a fast attack. It's just what I prefer. And then we'll solo this, and you'll hear it kind of dial it in. And I do a quick attack so it kind of hits right in that transient of the kick, and it lets the kick kind of shine through a little bit.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage and let
Yeah, you
go
kind
of
of
these
hear what
chains.
the kind of the early vibe of the song is going to be more energetic than normal. All right, so now we'll go to this bass line, and I really need to work on this. I need to find make this more add another oscillator, so I can saturate this as well. So I'll pull down the ceiling on this limiter until it just starts to hit. And then I can bring up the saturation. right, so now let's see if that cuts through the mix just a little bit better.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage and lock all these chains.
I like that so far.
Get out of the dark stuff, breathe.
All right, so let's do a real simple fill right here at the end. This 8-bar. Bring that down like this. Bring this down about right there. So now it kind of gives us a little bit of interest going into the next section.
Get out of the dark stuff, breathe in again.
So yeah, that's kind of give it a little bit of a more interesting sound. And then we'll go ahead and add a little bit of reverb right from the reverb channel right into here for these hi-hats. Give them just a little bit of space. Not too much, but just enough. All right, so we got that. Now I need, maybe I'll do an arpeggiated pattern right here. So let's see what we got.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane.
All right, so let's see what we got here. Go into this. So maybe I'll do a one like this. All right, so I'll just do a pattern like that, and then what I'll do is I'll bring this over, and then I'm going to change this to be really, really, really plucky. So let me pull this down, and then we'll take this envelope, put it onto this cutoff here, throw that filter on, and then you'll hear what it does. Solo that. All right, so I like that. I'm going to add some unison. Pull down the detune. Okay, so that's pretty simple but effective. We'll throw a reverb right on there, kind of give it a little bit of space. All right, so now in the context of the song.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane.
Actually, I'm going to go up an octave with that. I want it to be a little bit more of almost like a twinkle sound. Let's go in here.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage and lock all these chains. Get out of the dark stuff, breathe in again.
All right, so I think for this next section, there's got to be some more interest. So like it's a different section, so I need either something to change or there needs to be something else here. So let's see what we got. Let me see if I can do like do C here.
Breathe in again. On my own.
So I feel like there's something in here. Hold on.
Breathe in again.
So maybe mirror her what she says. So maybe do something like that, but then obviously make it sound not like garbage. Can't go wrong with a saw wave for sure. All right, so let me do envelope here, filter. Okay, bring the sustain up just a little bit, and I'm going to add a reverb, do a hall, I'll bring that up. All right, so we'll bring that volume up just a little bit. All right, so let's mirror that. We'll go down here. Move that out of the way. Do I want to mirror the melody there, or do I want to do my own? I will let this ride out, though. I'm going to bring this. I don't know. We'll leave that for now, maybe until something hits. All right, so now, whoops. All right. So now we have this. This is what we have so far. It's basically the verse section. This is how I normally build my songs. I'll go and I'll just start with the verse and build around it until I get something that's kind of cohesive.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage and let go of these chains. Get out of the dark stuff, breathing again.
Okay, so now I'm going to duplicate this. Uh-oh, I froze. Get out of here with that. All right, here we go. Duplicate that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start filling in these voids here.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage and let go of these chains. Get out of the dark stuff, breathing again.
All right, so now what I can do is I'm going to move it here. Maybe I will put it there. Wasn't going to, but. All right, so now I'm going to duplicate that again, and then I'm going to make my own harmony. We'll take that, and then we're going to put this up 3 semitones. All right, so now I have my own harmony there, and then we'll work on this. So I think what I'm going to do is, since this is not the main vocal, I'm going to EQ this slightly different. So I'm going to go into here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to get rid of this EQ and this EQ, and then I'm going to go in here. This is my favorite thing. I love this right here. So go to the EQ vocal and then telephone vocal. And then you'll hear what it does. Kind of gives it that, like your AM radio. Love that sound. But anyways, what I'll do is I'll take, I think I will saturate it. So I'm going to take saturator and put on there. And then I'll take a limiter, put on after the saturator, and then we'll dial this in. Okay, so I bring the ceiling down so it doesn't go any louder than that, and then I can bring the drive up. Kind of gives it makes it sound like a little distorted. And then I can do the same thing here. Maybe I'll copy that. I'll paste it here. Oh, get rid of that. I don't need that one. And then I'll Control G, group those together. And then now I can copy this. Then I'll bring it down here. Paste it here. Oh, I didn't grab that. either way. All right, there we go. And then we'll group those together. And then it should give me the same thing on this channel. Hey, I'm Shiko. Thanks for joining up. How you doing? All right, so I'm going to take this, and then so now you'll get kind of the feel of what I'm doing here.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage and let go of these chains. Get out of the dark, start breathing again. On my own.
So I'm thinking, so what I like to do is I like to fill in these voids here. So I'm going to do, maybe I'll do another one. So let's see what we got. All right, so I can do, maybe I'll do that. Pull this down here, maybe here. See how this sounds. So I think what I might do here is I like that, but I might change the note. So let's see what we got. All right, let's go into here. And then what do you say? So clear. Oh, hey, appreciate it. Thanks. So let me solo this so I can hear exactly where she changes her note. Okay, so right here. So we'll do this, and then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the note so that she sings a different note. So it's obviously different and you get a little bit of a different feel. Okay, so now see how that was very sudden? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and these little squares here, you can crossfade. So I'll do this. I'm going to crossfade it to where she kind of like eases into that change. Now, it still sounds kind of abrupt, but you'll hear when I put the song on, it's not, you don't notice it as much. All right, so now in the context of the song.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage and let go of these chains. Get out of the dark, start breathing again. On my own.
Okay, so I think I need to change the timing of that. So let's listen to one more time. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to slide it here so it hits right at the end of this phrase here. Okay, so I kind of got that down. So I'll come back to that. I don't want to spend too much time in one area and make it kind of boring. All right, so how do I want to start it? What do we do to start? So let me look at this bass line, which I do have to finish. Let me check this out. This is Serum 2. Yeah, I'm Shiko. I'm using Serum 2. It's great. I love it. I migrated from Serum 1, and I mean it's the only synth I know, so it's what I'm good at. I haven't tried the other ones. I've heard Vital is pretty good, but I haven't tried it yet. All right, so I hear that. Then let me see. All right, so then maybe I'll do on that note, and then I'll duplicate it. All right, let me get rid of these, and then I'll bring this over, duplicate it, and then I'll bring this down to the G. Bring that up to an A. See how that sounds. Use a lot of presets. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's how I learned. I went and downloaded a bunch of presets, and then my flow was to download the preset and then kind of reverse engineer it, like dig into all the parameters and figure out what they were doing. So I'm still learning, obviously, but that's how I learned. I just went into the presets, found some really good sounding ones, and just kind of backwards, work backwards in it and try to figure out what each parameter was doing. So that's how I learned. All right, let's see here. We got, I think this bass line's good enough. It's not super, intricate or anything. All right, we'll leave that like it is. And then I think, how do I want to start this? Let's get Splice back in here. I'm going to go into Splice and see what other kind of vocals are in this pack. I think this is it.
'Cause I got deep.
Yep. All right, so let's see. It's a C sharp or D flat minor. Both are the same. And then we'll go into vocals. And then this was 148 BPM. So I'm going to put it on exact and then just filter out 148. And then it gives me everything C minor, C sharp minor, 148. And then the other thing I'm going to do, which I don't think I have on here. Let me see. Yeah. So the cool thing about Splice is it has a plugin, a VST plugin that lets you basically bridge your DAW with Splice so that whatever you play in Splice plays in time with your project, which is awesome. So let's go here, and we're going to maybe bring this to the front, and we'll just do chords and bass and see what this sounds like.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane.
Wrong
Does
one.
anybody
I wanna
know
play
how to get
All right, so let's get rid of that. I don't want to hear that. All right, so I got my Splice bridge in there. Let's turn the volume down on that because I don't want to deafen everybody in chat. All right, let's turn this down to, I don't know, -12, -11, somewhere around there. Yeah, Splice. Yeah, that bridge is awesome. I love using that. It's really helpful. Kind of, you can just kind of like preview sounds, and it plays it with your project, and yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, so we have this, and what is this? So we got to look at the name of the sample. So this is Demons. This is Demons. So these are all part of the same. I don't know why this keeps getting blurry like this. I might have to look into that. I don't know if you guys can see on your screen, but it gets kind of blurry until I mouse over it. I think it has something to do with both of my monitors. My off monitor is like a lower resolution, and I'm thinking that's what's causing it. But either way. All right, so let's see. What kind of bridge do we have?
Just please get out of my head.
All right, so I have that. Let's see. What kind of chorus? What chorus do we have? Well, actually, let's go dry. I don't like getting any vocals that have effects on them, because then I can't do my thing to them, because like sometimes I want it super dry and in your face for like when the beat cuts out and then she says something, it's like right in your face, and you can't do that when they're all wet. Let's see what we got here. Chorus. Where's the chorus? Hook, harmony, chorus, verse, bridge. Okay, here we go. Oh, that is chorus. That's what I started with. Okay, let's try this.
I've got demons in my mind, running all the time. It gets so hard to sleep at night.
Okay, so let me grab this. I'm just gonna pull those in. We'll go down here. Let's get this dialed in. So we got grab this, and then we'll change Complex Pro. It's at 148 BPM, so it's going to match the BPM of our track because I have warp on. And then let's see what it gives us.
I've got
Well, that is way too loud. Let me change that. These are those are minus 15. We're going to do minus 15 on these and maybe add some reverb, just channel reverb. I didn't do any specific reverb. This is just kind of like my template that I have.
I've got demons in my mind.
All right, so first thing I hear is in this section here, I think I'm going to take the filter, the cutoff, and then I'm going to slowly ramp that up. So maybe I'll do something like this.
I've got demons in my mind, running all the time. It gets so hard to sleep at night. I try to run and hide.
All right, so I kind of feel that. And then because I could start this off with a verse. I mean, there's no rules, right? So I can start that with a verse, and then maybe I'll do on the 4 on the floor kick at the second in the second 8 bars of the intro. So let's try that.
I've got demons in my mind.
And then I'm thinking maybe I change this bass line to just maybe I'll change this bass line to just a rolling bass line at the beginning, so that you have a little bit more like, how do I say, where it doesn't sound as dynamic. The bass line sounds a little bit more static.
I've got demons in my mind, running all the time. It gets so hard to sleep at night. I try to run and hide away. Somewhere safe, help me out, I need.
All right, so now I wonder if I can do maybe I'll do a 4 bar section where the snares come in and kind of like do a stack build. Yeah, maybe a stack build. Okay, so I like that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do, maybe I do another EQ on here, and then I will, maybe I'll put that in here, and then I'll do like maybe I'll just filter out all the highs in just this section right here, in the snares, that is, and then I'll turn that EQ off after that, so it's kind of like muted a little bit. I could also automate this, the frequency, and then what I'll do is I'll maybe automate it to where it opens slightly near the end. Maybe something like that. That way it kind of builds up. All right, so I don't like it that much. Maybe I'll do, like, I'll have it open a little bit, but not full on, and then I'll still turn it off in that area, and then it kind of doesn't fully open up into the full snare until it does the break into the next section. And then I'll put my riser there. All right, let's see what we got. Let's start at the beginning.
I've got demons in my mind, running all the time. It gets so hard to sleep at night. I try to run and hide away somewhere safe. Help me out. I need a place to go. 'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage.
All right, so I like that so far.
Let go of these chains, get out of the dark, start breathing again.
All right, so definitely when this change happens, there definitely needs to be some kind of like a synth lead, or even if it's just a muted synth lead. Let me insert a MIDI track here. I'm gonna do, maybe I'll do a light synth lead that I can then fully open up into in the next section. All right, let's see what we got.
Let go of these chains, get out of the dark, start breathing again.
All right, let's see what we got. Too low. There we go. All right. What do I hear? All right, let's see. Man, I do like to do these things though. Watch, I'll show you. All right, we'll do this, and then I like to do these right here. I'll show you. So I'll add some unison, detune down. I don't want it too detuned, but what I like to do is I'll take this attack and I'll kind of sweep it in and then sweep it out. So you'll hear what I'm trying to do here. All right, so that's kind of the gist. Put a little reverb on there. Now I'll take some reverb, put it on the synth itself. Then I'm also going to do a little bit of delay, ping pong. See what this does. All right, so then I think what I'll do here is in this section, after this hits, that is basically, I'm going to follow these chords. So it'll be a G. So basically what I'm going to do is in here, so it would be a C, and then a B, and then a G. So I'm going to do a G right here. And I can actually sustain this a little bit. So kind of like that. But I can also add another oscillator, and then I'll go an octave up. Turn the volume down. So kind of like that, but we'll dial it in. I'm going to do an LFO on the fine tune of this first oscillator. Kind of gives it that old school waver. So if I play it, if I solo this, you'll hear it. Kind of gives it a little bit of a waver, like a tape distortion. So it's like something like that, but I could also do literally with the chords. I could do follow those chords like this, maybe. So something like that. We'll let's see how this transition happens.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage and let go of these chains. Get out of the dark stuff, breathe in again.
So I'm wondering if I could also do, maybe I can go to 16th hi-hats in this section. We'll get this dialed in, this, and then duplicate that throughout. And then let's see if that brings up the energy. Because it just seems like it's like a flat transition.
Want out of this cage and let go of these chains. Get out of the dark stuff, breathe in again. This is all I know.
So it almost feels like she needs to repeat that breathing again. Like almost like she needs to say breathing again here. So I could actually chop that up. So I could almost just duplicate it, really. Like take this and duplicate it and take that out. Now let's see what it sounds like.
'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage and let go of these chains. Get out of the dark stuff, breathe in again. Breathe in again.
So I like that better. Like that repeating of that, because the other part just wasn't doing it for me. And the cool thing about this, you could do whatever you want. So that's what I'm doing. All right, let's start it over and then see where we're at with this.
I've got demons in my mind.
All right, first thing I'm hearing is this needs to be more of a washed out sound. So let's do this reverb directly on the channel, and then we'll get an EQ directly on this channel. Get some of these lows out, even though there's probably not a whole lot, but there's enough.
I've got demons in my mind, running all the time.
All right, so we'll give a little bit of dry wet. We'll see if this works. If it doesn't, it's fine. Okay, let's turn this low off. And this doesn't always work. It depends on the vocals. I don't know if I'm feeling that, but we'll let's do what else do I have? I have Valhalla Supermassive. I can try that. Bypass that reverb, and then we'll do kind of vocal echoes do we have? Try this one. I don't know what this sounds like. We'll try it. Okay, see, I don't like that one because it's not hitting with the chord changes. cool sounding, but almost like I need to start. Almost seems like I need to start the song because I'd love that echo to hit. So let's do. No, I don't want to mess with it too much. Let's try a different one. What do we have? What do we have? Echoes. We have a dotted. This is always a good one. I use this one.
I've got demons in my mind, running all the time. It gets so hard to sleep at night. I try to run and hide. Someone safe has me. I need a place to go.
All right, so this definitely needs a fill right here. We're gonna go. All right, we're gonna throw that one away. See what this sounds like.
Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage and let go of these chains. Get out of the dark, start breathing again. Breathing again.
All right, so I like that. We'll leave that, and then we'll go back into Splice, and we'll see what else they got here. So they have this verse. They have this drop. What is this?
Get out of my head. Oh, oh.
All right, so we have that, or we have this. We have a bridge as well.
Just please get out of my head.
All right, let's get this, and then let's do another right here. Change this to Complex Pro, and then I'm going to take all this and duplicate it. All right, so let's turn this down, and then we're going to put an EQ on here as well. Not an echo, but an EQ. Get rid of some of these lows, and then I'll tweak the other EQ as I need. But let's turn this off. I don't know if I like that. It's kind of weak, but we'll work with it. But I could also do something like that. I could layer that, maybe. Maybe we can layer it underneath. Complex Pro 148. All right, so let's see if we can maybe layer this underneath and see if we can get something to work right. See, I don't like her harmony there. That harmony's that's not good.
Just please get out of my head.
It's kind of weird. So we're going to go ahead and mute that, and then see what we can do with this little thing here. Okay, so we'll leave that where it's at, and then we have, what is this one?
Just please get out of my head.
So that's another version of that bridge. So let's try that one and see See if that's any better. We'll put this here and then see if this one works any better. Mute that and let's see what we got.
Just please get out of my head. Out of my head.
All right, so what I can do is we're going to change this. We're going to Control E, and that clips it. And then I'm gonna lengthen this. So we're gonna go in here, and then we're gonna put a marker here, but then I'm gonna take a marker here, and I'm gonna stretch this, and then you'll see why. So before it was like this, and now basically I'm going to take it and then stretch it. So I put the marker there, and we're going to take this, and I'm going to stretch it out like this. I can move it. Maybe that's a little bit too much. We'll bring it back about right here. So I can also change her note there too. So like right here maybe. So I can hear that going up a note. So maybe right here, and then we'll go ahead and go up 3 semitones. Let's solo this real quick. So that didn't work too well. It's got to be 3 semitones. It's getting artifacts. I don't like that. All right, so what I'll do is we're going to get rid of that. We're going to duplicate this. All right. Yep. We're going to take this, bring it over here, and then we're going to take this up 3 semitones because this is a more powerful vocal. All right. So it's kind of what I want. Right here, it kind of sounds a little funky, but you'll see when I'll bring this volume up a little bit. All right. So we're going to play with this and then get it to sit right in the song. So we're going to crossfade this about right there. So it's going to be about right there. All right, so not there, go right here. If it don't work, it don't work. So that's not kind of doing what I want it to do, but not quite. Yeah, that's not working. So we'll leave that just like it was.
Just please get out of my head.
All right, let's see what this sounds like underneath. So let me EQ some of these lows out. We'll go ahead and do just a regular EQ8, and we're going to take some of these out, and then we're going to take some of these mids out. So that's it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see where that's at. Not really feeling that just yet, but we kind of got a good core down for the song. Probably work on a little bit of this beginning.
I've got demons in my mind, running all the time. It gets so hard to sleep at night. I try to run and hide.
Although I'm not sold on this kick. I'm not sold on that kick. I don't know. It's not doing it for me. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just go back to my this is my favorite kick right here. In Ableton is the kick foot 2. I don't know why I like it so much, but I do, because it's really snappy. So turn that down. We'll EQ this a little bit. And then what I'll do is I'll come over here, find and then we'll start over on the saturation and I'll dial it in. Okay. So there's two things I can do. I can filter or EQ it here like this, or I can literally take out the high and then kind of give it more of a thump. So I can do something like that, or I can leave it. It's got like this a little bit, it punches through the mix a little bit better. So let's see what it sounds like in the context of the song.
I've got demons in my mind, running all the time. It gets so hard to sleep at night. I try to run and hide. Someone says heavy, I need a place to go. 'Cause I got demons in my brain, they're driving me insane. Does anybody know how to get rid of all the pain? I want out of this cage, unlock all these chains. Get out of the dark, start breathing again. Breathing again. Just please get out of my head.
All right, that's kind of what I have so far. Not bad for the first day. Got quite a bit accomplished. Figure the goal. So I do this 5 days a week, and I start a new track. And this is the first day, and I try to finish it. I do 90-minute streams, and I'm gonna try to finish this song by Friday. Now, obviously, that's not full mix. I'll probably do the mix off stream, and because it kind of gets a little boring, and I don't talk much. But the whole goal is to start and finish a song in basically less than like 8 hours or 9 hours or whatever it boils down to be. So I kind of got a good portion of it done. I got to work on, bass line and getting things dialed in, maybe changing some of these, notes in these chords, making them a little bit more dynamic, adding some interest to them. Like, for instance, I can do stuff like this if I solo these and kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. So we'll go. So right now they're just straight up, sustained chords, but I could do I could do things like this. You know, you can add a little bit of flavor to them. You know, something like that. You know, I could do little things like that, but you know, that it depends on how the song goes and all that. So like you can't really hear it in there, so I probably wouldn't do that. I'd probably put it in a section where there's a lot less going on, and then try to make it more interesting that way. But yeah, that's the goal. Start this over. I want to hear it. You know, maybe I will do that. Maybe I'll, with this kick, maybe I'll duplicate this. And then with this one, I'll do the same thing. I'll kind of like pull this down, and then I can have this open up over time. Almost like this. And then we'll turn it off when it gets to here. Wait, it's a little bit more muted. Yeah, so there's a couple things I can do there. I can literally I can bring this, I hear something here, hold on. So I could bring this down, and then I could do a harmony there. Bring this up a little bit. Can't really hear it. For some reason, these vocals aren't the greatest, but yeah, see it, for some reason, it's not. Yeah, I don't like that. So we'll take that off. But anyways, I think I got a lot accomplished for the first day. I got 4 more days to build on this and kind of dial it in and get things where I want them to be. So I go live every day, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fridays, I may start going a little bit later, but we'll see. But I appreciate everybody over on YouTube hanging out, everybody on Twitch. You know, if you like what I'm doing here, you know, hit the follow button, like it. I mean, it helps out small creators like me for sure. But yeah, I have a Discord. It should be in the description, and then I can link it here in chat. So you can join the Discord. I'm slowly building that up. I got a few people over there. We talk about music and things like that. Yeah, but I really appreciate you hanging out with me, and I will see you guys tomorrow.